network, as well as the network itself and Orbit, for providing me the opportunity to speak at this inaugural session. And as Nadeem was mentioning, it is an incredibly important sector, area, and it's, Nadeem, a great initiative to have an industry body that can interact with everyone. In my brief talk, I was told to keep it around 8-10 minutes, so I'll try and stick to that. I would like to highlight two key areas. One, the huge opportunity presented by the capital markets for fintechs, and second, the funding available for fintechs from the capital market, something which Nadeem also alluded to as funding from overseas is drying up. There are alternative funding sources available for good companies. So, as you all well know, from raising capital to deploying business solutions, fintechs have been at the forefront of tech-enabled economic activity throughout the world. And they generated substantial interest from investors, VCs, and others internationally. And they are undoubtedly a force and a major generator of economic activity. As again Nadeem mentioned, that almost every large firm will certainly be a technology firm, but will also be a fintech firm. Here in Pakistan, the focus of fintechs has been almost exclusively towards enhancing and deploying payment systems and towards banking services. The capital markets, I would like to suggest, are an untapped sector waiting to be discovered by the fintech industry locally. This is a large-scale opportunity with tremendous growth potential. In fact, more than 40 years ago, the fintech phenomena in Pakistan actually started from the capital markets, where in the 1990s we introduced electronic trading. And at that time, along with the dematerialization of share certificates, custodial services, it was sort of path-breaking and was well ahead of any other sector, including banking, in terms of digitization. Internationally, fintechs have undergone exponential growth in the capital markets by creating new value propositions or improving existing ones. Again, I completely agree that they are able to enhance and simplify the customer journey and create the capacity to handle vastly greater client numbers by increasing convenience and simplification, as well as regulatory compliance. The capital markets ecosystem, which includes depositories, custodians, investment banks, exchanges, clearing houses, and capital market information aggregators, provide a fertile ground for innovation by fintechs. And we've seen that, forget the developed markets, from Asia to Africa, fintechs have created large-scale business models in the capital markets, in brokerage, as well as asset management. And it's time we do this in Pakistan as well. And one of amongst the many challenges faced by the capital markets, transparency and investor outreach have been amongst the biggest issues hampering the growth of capital markets. And technology and fintechs can help surmount these and other challenges. PSX, with the support of SECP, has taken many path-breaking initiatives in the last 2 years, including providing both the enabling framework and infrastructure to allow online account opening, establishment of a professional clearing member, streamlining AML and KYC requirements, introduction of Sahulat accounts for small investors, and crucially, enabling sharing of customer information between banks and brokers and capital markets. This is now seamless for RDAs and in pilot phase for domestic account holders. And this really is a game changer as fintechs look at the capital market space. So just to give you an example, the online account opening that we have enabled in September, 76% of all accounts opened in September this year were through the online channels, which 2 years ago was almost zero. We are also in the process of introducing online-only broker category. So fintechs can get a license and offer front-end brokerage services with good UI and UX-based apps, while they can outsource the back-end services as well as compliance to other capital market entities. And we really need services like robo-advisory, wealth management, full service and discount brokerages that can capitalize on technology. I think the only number worse than number of taxpayers in Pakistan is the number of investors in the capital markets. So as I said, for the size of our company, for the size of our country, for the size of our economy, it is a huge scale opportunity. So we believe that all the necessary structures are in place for existing and new players to take advantage of and build profitable large-scale businesses and help grow the capital markets. Locally, we have seen how fintechs like JazzCash and EasyPaisa have been able to capture the unbanked market segment of the country. We are also seeing some successful models now in Pakistan's capital market. K-Trade, which recently launched, has had more than 1 million downloads. Zindagi app, introduced by JS Bank, is now available in 13 cities and has had a lot of success. Capital Stake, which launched in 2014, has built, in fact, a data platform in the capital markets by synthesizing and gathering data and then converting into an API, which can be used by different entities. And they have incorporated their platform with 20 brokers, including with PSX and others. It is fair to say that so far, regrettably, Pakistan has not leveraged the opportunities offered by the telecom and tech revolution that has swept the world in the last few years. And this has far-reaching implications for our economy, its position in the world, productivity, export of services, and just creating large-scale businesses and wealth. Thankfully, this seems to be changing now, and I hope that we are finally at an inflection point and at the cusp of another opportunity. Hence, it's critically important that we learn from the past and make sure that we fully capitalize on the emerging future opportunities. And it's really important to understand that, what was it, both from not just the regulator perspective, also from our entrepreneurs and business perspectives. I mean, it's always amazed me that Pakistan is probably one of the few and perhaps the only developing country that doesn't have an indigenous homegrown telecom billionaire. I mean, forget India, Asian tigers, even in Zimbabwe, we've got local telecom billionaires who took advantage of these changes taking place. So I hope this time our business community, entrepreneurs, regulators will learn from the past to understand the risks and take advantage of these opportunities. At PSX, we are committed to ensuring that we support the new economy and create the environment in which the value creation for companies, investors, and advisors takes place in Pakistan. And I'd like to briefly touch upon the Growth Enterprise Market, or the GEM board, which is one important step in this regard. This was actually created in response to the capital raising challenges faced by smaller companies and startups, which have always found it difficult to raise money from banks. VC funding was also constrained due to many reasons, and one key reason, as you know, is to be inability to show a viable exit option. When we launched the GEM board, our hope was, and I think it's proving true, that we would be able to impact the entire value chain of early stage financing. As you talk to investors, a listing on the GEM board is a viable exit opportunity to talk about, as well as a capital raising platform for smaller companies. As Nadeem was mentioning, recently, although international VC funding has been deployed at record levels, due to both domestic and global volatility, this has impacted and the flows have slowed down. The GEM board, I would say, provides a very attractive alternative fundraising platform. The market provides a deep pool of capital for companies and provides access to both local and foreign investors. And once listed, the market will keep providing growth capital through the company's life cycle and the opportunity to transition to the main board. Recently in developed markets, companies have been going public later. I would suggest that I believe that in Pakistan's particular circumstances, which include underdeveloped private market ecosystem and complex FX and tax regulations for private companies, it is important perhaps to consider listing as an option earlier. PSX opened to international investors back in 1991. There's 30 years of track record of tax and FX regulations. Every day, millions of dollars go in and out of the market, without any issues, really. And since all listing is done on a book building basis, you can actually use it as part of your VC or BOC round of funding as well, because you can attract specific investors to come into a listing round. It doesn't have to be just a random set of investors. And since there is a large number of investors involved, you may not have to go through the torturous process of shareholder agreements and all the obligations and drag along and other rights that have to be negotiated. Being listed provides many other opportunities, many other advantages. It provides a very flexible capital structure, many more financing options for both debt and equity. You develop a diversified investor base. It helps build the brand, helps to retain staff, because ESOPs are much easier in a listed structure than in unlisted companies. And sale of shares in listed companies is also a lot more tax efficient. We recently signed an MOU with PSEB, who will fund up to 40 tech companies that will come for listing on the GEM board. So just to conclude, I would say capital markets always have funding available for good businesses. Yes, the valuation will vary depending on macro and other conditions, and it's an important judgment call to make. Do you take a lower valuation today, get funded, capture the market, grow to scale and create even more value later, or do you wait and run the risk of someone else capturing the market? PSX is here to help and support you in any way we can. Once again, thank you for inviting me, and we look forward to partnering with you on your exciting journey to revolutionize both the business and economy of Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Farrukh, for highlighting the opportunities in the capital markets and the support that you have offered us. I'd like to now have Mr. J.K. Khalil's recorded session for our audience. J.K. Khalil is Cluster General Manager at MasterCard. He's responsible for MENA East Cluster, which includes GCC and Pakistan. He brings a background in strategy, consulting, technology, banking, fintech, and is also on several advisory boards. Let's play the video.
Good morning and welcome to the Pakistan FinTech Forum. I wish that I could be there with you all in person, particularly after the last 2 years of disruption. Sadly, on this occasion, this is not possible, but here we are, once again, harnessing the power of connectivity to bring people from across the world closer together with the touch of a button. Solving problems using technology, and that is what you, the industry leaders and business mavericks in the room, do best. You are the innovators and the creators. You are the ones transforming our sector and creating an even bigger future, brighter future for Pakistan. Fintechs are disruptors of the status quo in the pursuit of a better tomorrow. New players are continuously emerging. Their scaling strategies are maturing, and investments are being accelerated. Yet the core ambitions remain the same, striving to empower people, increase access, spur development, and bring more stakeholders into the digital economy. Through deep partnerships, we are expanding our MasterCard payments matrix across new rails, new segments, and new use cases, as we power commerce and empower the digital economy to enable people to send money, however, whenever, and wherever they need or choose to do so. And fintechs play an increasingly vital role in enabling this economic transformation. As Pakistan embraces the limitless power of digital payments, we are committed to continue to drive digital transformation in the country. This great work with great partners fuels our global pledge to connect 1 billion people, including 50 million small businesses, to the digital economy by 2025, with a particular focus on including 25 million female entrepreneurs. But we know we cannot do this on our own. The only way we are going to achieve sustainable and inclusive growth is by building a more connected ecosystem that benefits everyone. And we cannot do this alone. Indeed, we recently all watched in disbelief as floods devastated Pakistan. As the water is receding, the country has lost thousands of lives and now faces huge economic losses as the resilient people of Pakistan rise to the challenge and start to rebuild. Again, the power of innovation and technology has come to the fore as leaders from around the world came together to offer support. At MasterCard, we harnessed the power of our technology and engaged with various government entities to support the flood relief efforts, powered by some of our key assets, such as our payment gateway services. I am proud of the small role that we were able to play, but equally heartened at seeing once again how technology and collaboration can uplift communities and make an impact. Another testament to the power of partnerships. As we look to the future, we are committed to fueling the next generation of fintechs. At MasterCard, we offer services and tools that help fintechs, innovators at any stage, launch, grow, and with agility and speed, build up their business. MasterCard's technology-led approach to support fintechs is underpinned by a shared mission of inclusive growth and doing well by doing good. We're pushing our networks further, forging ambitious partnerships and championing the people, businesses, and innovations that are transforming the way the country works. Thank you for being part of this exciting journey with us. And thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to be part of this great forum today. And I wish you all a priceless event.
Thank you, Mr. Khalil, and I think we all appreciate MasterCard's vision in lifting communities, and particularly for me, hearing about the 25 million female entrepreneurs and their financial inclusion is really exciting. I'd like to now invite Syed Junaid Imam Saab, Managing Director, Pakistan Software Export Board and Ministry of IT. Mr. Imam is leading digital transformation agenda of the government at the Ministry of IT. He is in particular responsible for the development of Pakistan's first personal data protection bill and cybersecurity and cloud policies. Currently, he is developing key policy initiatives for the government, such as the Digital Pakistan, National AI, DLT blockchain, data governance, and startup facilitation policies. Thank you, Imam Saab, for joining us.